What's up, everyone? Welcome back to another episode of Boleros. We're back here today. I'm here with Gab and Maui. Say hi, guys.
Hello, hello.
What's up?
What's up?
Thank you for the
Okay,
support,
so
everyone.
yes, thank you. So, ang daming nag-comment and nag-react dun sa last episode namin about game 1 of the finals. So, thank you for commenting, reacting. We'll do our best to reply to all your comments. Tomorrow, so it's a Tuesday today, December 13. Tomorrow is game 2, pero meron kaming surprise episode tonight. Because alam natin usually right before game 2 merong awarding ceremony yung UAAP. So we're going to have our own awarding ceremony tonight. We're going to talk about our winners of specific awards. Some of them awards that you're familiar with, pero we're also going to come up with our own awards, no? So we'll try to spice things up. Sige. So, let's start. Gab, ikaw ang awards master natin today. Let's start. What's our first
Yes.
award?
Our first award is a Bolero special. Um, so it's a non-conventional award, and I formatted this list based on how easy we are going to agree. So just for everyone's um, how do I say this information, we did not talk about this prior to this episode, so this is all spontaneous. We're all how this is gonna go. I'm gonna mention an award. We're gonna give our picks, and we're gonna have to pick if we have different picks. We're gonna have to pick one to win the award. All right. So we have to agree, or at least two out of three of us, you have to agree. All right. And then I also formatted that the first awards are gonna be, I think, very easy for us to pick and very non-conventional. So for our first award again is a Bolero special. Who is our Bolero of the season? I think this is pare, kung magkaiba pa yung pick natin, hindi ko na lang alam. Maui, yung let's go to you. Who is your Bolero of season 85? Overall
Ah,
Bolero.
Overall Bolero, parang MVP na rin. So I'm going with the MVP for this year, Malick Diouf. I think he was underlooked this
Di,
year.
di,
Maui,
wait.
Bolero, ah.
Bolero,
Bolero, not
Bolero. Sorry.
baller.
Ballers
Not
pala.
baller, Bolero.
Bolero.
Bolero
Parang
pala.
yung the
Oo nga.
worst of
Sorry,
season
sorry.
85. The worst.
The worst. I think,
It can be a player, it can be a team, it can be
definitely,
a game. Oh, go, Maui.
definitely Bolero of the season, Lasal. De La Salle Archers, Green Archers. I think both of you can agree that you mentioned them as the title contender for this year. Everyone is with their loaded lineup, intact, very intact from last year, and the addition of Kevin Kiambao. I think everyone expected Lasal to really perform well this year. They were hyped off season. Even Evan Nelly and Shawnee Winston went on a podcast and said that they were the team to beat and they were gonna end the eliminations at the number one slot. But unfortunately for LaSalle, this is probably one of the most disappointing teams for me for the past 20 years.
Yes, definitely. Sam, do you have a different pick? Are you gonna argue for anyone or any other team?
Ah, malakas talaga yung Lasal just because I think preseason pa lang, based on talent alone, we all agreed, or at least tayo, Gab, when we did the first episode, the preview episode, we both said Lasal is deep and can match UP talent-wise, no? In terms of the list of players that they have on their team, they can match UP in terms of their talent. So them not making it to the final four definitely deserves a Bolero award. And they lost some, bad games. They lost to UA, they lost to UE twice, etc. No. Um, but I just ayong masunog tayo ng Lasal community. And to be fair to Lasal, wait. To be fair to Lasal, injuries did contribute to
Yes. Oh, I know.
them losing, no? Uh so I to be honest with you, I want to pick FEU kasi there's no major injury for FEU. There's no major injury for FEU and they still lost what 5 straight, 6 straight nung
Five.
start of the
Five
season.
states.
5.
0-5 to start.
Um yeah, so I think for me FEU talaga, but um honestly I want to pick FEU. But the reason why I'm going to have to agree and I'm going to pick LaSalle, not because of the way they lost the season. Again, for me, with them losing, uh, it was derailed by injuries. Injuries to Shawnee, injuries to Mike Phillips, na COVID si Kevin Kembao. So I'm not gonna pick them because they lost. They had a poor record. I'm gonna pick LaSalle because of how they ended the season. And that was with the Shawnee Winston issue.
Yes.
Na they didn't
Yes,
let Shawnee
definitely.
Winston join the team. Lumabas na news na Shawnee had to buy a ticket for himself so that he could watch the game. He tried to join them in the dugout pero pinagmumura-mura siya. I don't know really what happened, no. So I can't
And
say
LaSalle is
that.
mum on it. They haven't
Yeah,
released a
yeah,
statement. They haven't
yeah.
defended themselves.
So we don't really know what happened. Hindi wala tayong insider info or anything. But the fact na yun yung lumalabas sa news, I think it's not a good way to treat your players, especially like an MVP candidate like Shawnee. Um just think about what other players will feel when especially the ones that are considering joining LaSalle in the future. So for me, just because of that one moment, they could have made the final four and lost. They could have made the finals and lost. But if that same scenario happened, I would have picked them Bolero of the week. So I'm not, again, to be clear, I'm not picking them because they didn't make it to the final four. They lost a lot of games. I'm picking them because of that, the way they ended that season and the way they treated Shawnee Winston. So I'll have to go with LaSalle. In particular, LaSalle management siguro, not the team, not the players, but like the people that are
Oh,
handling it, the coach,
agree,
the
agree,
coaches,
agree.
the management. Ganun. So, yeah, agree, LaSalle, Bolero of the week. The year.
Of the season, of the year,
Sorry, the
yes.
season, the season.
So we're unanimous in this. Surprise, surprise. I'm also picking our Bolero of the season is LaSalle. Not just the team, not just the coaches, the whole LaSalle community. The whole LaSalle community, yung management. Although Sam, I do want to react to what you said that we're gonna get burned by our Lasallian friends. I don't think so. I spent some time with some Lasallian uh, friends during the weekend in the past few days, and even they want to burn their own management and team. They call to quote one of my friends, it was a season of disaster. It was really a disastrous season. So I think sila mismo yung galit din sa sarili nilang team eh. And we discussed this Mao yung nung tayo lang dalawa yung nag-episode,
Yep.
yung regarding yung point ni Sam of how they ended their season with Shawnee Winston. Again, history is not on the side of LaSalle because they have done this before to their players. I did mention for you guys who weren't able to catch it, the Mike Cortez um, issue in season 65 back in 2002. They did blame Mike Cortez for selling the game by having a bad game 3. That was not the way to treat your star player. And then they they've done this you repeatedly. They treated Richie Rivero bad. And just a short trivia for others out there: the Ravenna brothers actually came from LaSalle and in grade school, and they were the LaSalle community basically did, or the management basically did the same thing. They blamed Kiefer Ravenna, a
Allegedly.
10-year-old kid.
Allegedly. Yun
No,
yung rumor. Yun yung rumor.
allegedly, blamed Kiefer Ravena for selling a game. A 10-year-old Kiefer Ravena for selling a game in grade school. Hindi ko na lang alam. Again, history is not on the side of LaSalle at this point. So I tend to believe Sonny. So yes, it's not just the losing, it's the whole season of shit
Disastrous.
that happened to LaSalle. So yes, our Bolero of the season is the De La Salle Green Archers. Congrats! We have to give a shout out. Unanimous eh. Galing.
Ah, it was
Uh,
that much of a
Next.
anyway,
disaster.
okay,
Next.
next. So for our next award, let's go with something traditional, boys. And I think this is, again, not gonna be very contention. In contention to for the three of us. Who is our rookie of the year?
Sino ba
Sam,
counted as
you
a
go
rookie?
first.
Sorry.
Uh,
Sino, can you
so
define?
so let's
Sino
go
ang
with the UAAP definition of rookie, as in yung mga out of high school rookie.
Diretso from high school yan, kailangan.
Oh,
One of the rules. Kevin Cambao, Kian Baklaan, and actually, I'm not sure anymore.
Gani Stevens. I think
Gary
Gani Stevens
Stevens,
counts.
tama. Gary Stevens counts.
I think they're the only
countable.
contenders, to be honest. Is there anyone else?
Yeah, I think the three are the top
Oh,
contenders.
Sam.
Okay.
I think those three
Um,
are the only ones.
okay. Out of those three, I think for me, dalawa yung strong contenders, Kevin Cambao and Keen Baklaan. Just, I have to give it to Keen Baklaan though, because I think, we did call NU as a Final Four team, if I remember correctly, pero we didn't expect them to do so well. Until medyo nag-crash sila nung dulo, no? But nawala si Keen nung last game din nila, by the way. But he really carried this team also, no, to be fair. Ang ganda nung 1-2 punch nila ni Steve Nash Enriquez, no. So I think we were talking about yung interview din kay Jeff Napa. This kid's future is really bright, and I think he really showed up then during the Final Four. Almost willed NU to win against UP during the Final Four. Medyo na they just encountered the giant JD Kagulangan wall. Pero I think for me, Keen Baklan was the most consistent, and I always reward players that help their teams succeed. Si Kevin Cambao, he was probably good stat wise, pero hindi sila nag-Final Four, so I have to take that out from him.
I have a question though. Are we gonna exclude Kian Baklaan because of his
Disqualified
suspension?
siya. Well, I'm
Kamawi.
picking based on,
Oh,
just everything, no? Hindi ko siya disqualify for it. Oo nga, no? Hindi pala siya pwede manalo.
Hindi siya pwede manalo. Actually,
hindi siya pwede manalo.
based on UAAP rules, same with the other main awards, the Rookie of the Year decided by statistical points. And actually, the winner, the supposed winner for this year is Kevin Cambao by a very small margin kay Kian Baklaan. But for us, I think we can include naman si Kian Baklaan. I have to agree with Sam. Kian Baklaan stepped up for NU. Actually, he was supposed to play, I think, for UST, but he transferred to NU last minute.
Before
Unfortunately,
enrolling, no?
yeah, before
Talino
enrolling,
nila.
Pati si Gani Stevens, no? Lumipat ng
yeah.
UE. Imagine if UST
Naglalaro,
had
I think
Baklaan and
naglalaro na sila
Stevens.
sa naglalaro na sila sa Phil Oil for
Pre-season, di ba?
pre-season,
Oo.
or I don't know, mag Phil Oil or sa, I think sa G League, D League naglalaro sila for
Yeah.
UST. But I have to agree with Sam. If I were to pick a Rookie of the Year for this year, it would be Kian Baklaan. Nothing against Kevin Cambao. I think he had a great season. He started out pretty slow. Medyo nag-struggle si Cambao nung start, especially sa key games against UP. I think he played very poorly nung first game nila. But he stepped up and he was instrumental, I think, in sort of he played almost all Lasal games except for the ones that he missed because of COVID. But NU is made
New
it into
games.
yeah. No, last Cambao I think played. But NU is in the
Akin ba?
final.
Okay.
Yeah, Cambao. But NU made it to the final four, and Kian Baclahan really stepped up. You can see naman nung last game nila, especially with UP, was really instrumental, and he was really taking over of the game. And I think
Yeah.
without Kian Baclaan, probably, especially since Steve Nash missed the first 5 games, I think, or first few games of the season, I think NU would have struggled to make it to Final Four. But because of Kian Baclaan being there, I think they really performed really well. And I have to agree with Sam. For my Rookie of the Year, I'm picking Kian Baclaan.
All right. So this was not as unanimous as I thought it was gonna be.
Mm.
So I
Sorry,
had
sorry.
Kevin
Singit
Kiambao.
lang. Masingit lang, Gab.
Go,
By the
go.
way, I'm one of the biggest Kevin Kiambao fans. Ha. Baka sabihin nyo,
Ako rin,
hater
ako
ako
rin.
ni Kevin
Ako rin.
Kiambao.
I think lahat naman
I'm a
tayo
big
eh. Galing siya eh.
KQ fan. So, yun lang. Baklaan lang din talaga. Anyway, go ahead, Gab.
So my pick was Kevin Kiambao. But we're okay, since dalawa sa inyo nagpick kay Kian Baclan, okay, let's go with Kian Baclan. And I do agree with both of your points. We talk about NU as a team with no stars, but I think the closest one they have to a quote unquote star is Kian Baclan, mainly because he can get his own shot. None of the NU guys, especially though the guys in their rotation, can actually get a shot on his own or create his own shot. Steve Nash to a point can, but he's not much
JLC,
of a
pwede rin.
scorer. No, yeah, JLC, but he's been like that for the last how many years already. But yeah, yun. I'm picking Kevin Kiambao. I think we saw enough flashes. If only he got enough minutes, I honestly think he was underplayed by Derek Pomarin. It's one of my criticisms of Lasal. I think they should have played Kevin Kiambao more. Even to Kevin Kiambao without another big beside them yung would have been better para hindi siya sobrang tight sa loob. But I saw the Lasal UP game the second round. I saw what Kevin Kiambao could be, a beast when he's aggressive, when he's making plays for other people. I think Kevin Kiambao, uh, for for me, is the rookie of the year. But for the Boleros podcast, we are giving it to Kevin Kiambao. But we do kind of want to give a shout out to Gani Stevens. I think he performed admirably this season. He was the center for a team without a foreign student athlete, and he held
Warrior
his
yun.
own.
Literal warrior pala.
Warrior talaga. Warrior na warrior talaga. Isipin mo, every game, ang kamatchup mo, mga 4 to 5 inches taller than you. So, di ba? Ibang klase, si Gani Stevens. Are there any other rookies that we're missing or we should have given a shout out to? Wala, no?
Walang
Is Cyril
sino.
Gonzalez a rookie? If he is, yeah, we gotta give a shout out to Cyril.
You know what? To be honest, hindi ako sure. Baka, was he there last season? Hindi ko maalala
Baka
eh.
hindi rin siya qualified eh. Baka he was Team B, but I'm not sure din for Silent Gonzalez. Si
Okay, so
Penny
anyway,
Estacio. Okay rin.
Penny
I think
Estacio.
good
And,
rin.
yeah, a lot of
Actually,
Lasal.
Lasal guys.
No, sila Raven Cortez, EJ Abadam. But they came on late na in the season eh. Diba? Spot minutes lang yung lang sila nung first round eh. Actually, to be honest, if they played in the no
Sparingly
start
ng
para ng
first
season,
round.
I think, no, diba? If they played more, I think they could have had a better chance. And anyway, so that's it. Our Rookie of the Year for the Boleros podcast is Kian Baclaan. No, we are not counting his suspension. We are still giving him our award. So next is Sam. You made this award, and I think it's a pretty good award since there are a lot of them already in the UAAP. Who is your one and done player of the season? Maui.
Definitely si
Teka. Sorry.
Ano?
Sorry, Mau. So, just to, ano, no, just to,
Give a background.
define, no, yung one and done. So, it could be a one and done player, someone that will just play 1 year in the UAAP and then aalis na. Pero it could also be someone na one-hit wonder. Maybe, hindi talaga siya star ng team pero made an amazing game-winning shot, or maybe he scored like 30 points in one game but the rest of the season, 2 points na lang, ganun. So, it could be something like that also. But go ahead,
Oh,
Maui.
so
Sino
let's
ang...
call. I think let's call it the one hit wonder award. I think
Yeah,
that's
okay,
better. No?
sige.
Sige,
One
yun.
Hit Wonder
Yung masali
Award.
tayo.
Sige, let's go. One Hit Wonder. Go, Maui.
I think for me, what yung one hit wonder ko for this season is has to be Luis Villegas Salgado from UE. If Luis Villegas Salgado played for a winning team, he probably would have won MVP. I think when you look at the stats, he played a hell of a season. He had steals, he had blocks.
Dapat kasi recruit na lang ni Kai sa Ateneo yun eh.
Fun fact, fun fact because of Sammy's statement, si Luis Salgado was a teammate of Kai Balungay sa St. Stanislaus College, I think in US Division 2. But yeah, I think he deserves to be the, if we call it the one and done award or one hit wonder award. I think Luis Salgado Villegas deserves the award. To a point, he even led the league in threes, I think, for a time. Sa percentage, or playing the four spot. He was rebounding, scoring the ball, getting defensive stats, playmaking. And I think it's a big reason why we saw the resurgence of UE this year. Hopefully, UE finds some other pieces for next year and continue on this momentum. But I think uh, Luis Villegas really played a hell of a season. Para siyang si Alvin Pasaol talaga yung type of season niya for me.
Sam, do you agree? Are you giving it to Luis Villegas?
Um, I really love Luis Villegas. So, honestly, kung sinabi mong one and done, wala nang iba. Wala nang iba kung hindi si Luis Villegas. Agree with everything Maui said. And really love him as a player kasi very unassuming. Wala masyadong yabang, wala masyadong reaction. Just
If
really
you remember, Sam,
lets his game talk.
nung
Go ahead, Gab.
we talked about this tweet where the stats were listed. I think it was a multiple
Correct.
choice. And then the one who everyone picked was the stats of Luis Villegas. And we all were all shocked that it was Luis Villegas.
He
We didn't
was
even know that
correct.
he was putting up stats like that. So
Though, and he was being compared to Kwame, KQ, and Mike Phillips, but people picked yung stats ni Luis Villegas. So, he was that good, or he was that efficient or dominant, at least earlier during the season. Pero you know what? I'm gonna just so that I just want to swerve, you know. So I don't want to go for that answer since binigay na yun ni Maui. So I'm swerving. I'm gonna say technically hindi siya one and done. Maybe ano ba, two and done. Um
two and
I'm
through ang tawag dun.
two and
Sa,
through. Okay, whatever. Two and through. I'm gonna pick AP Manlapas as my one-hit wonder for this season. So we were all excited to see AP Manlapas, 'di ba? Injured siya last season. He came back this season, pero on the very first game, the injury ulit siya, and then we didn't see him until the second to the last game, or like the last two games or something. And this guy showed up nung two out of the three games that he played against Ateneo. Um I think he scored like 9 straight points or something like that. Basta when I watched him against Ateneo, parang this guy couldn't miss. And Um, sayang, no? I wish he could have played the entire season so everyone could watch how good this kid is. Ang alam ko lang din, to be honest, was that he was very athletic, slam dunker, the guy who dunked on Kai Soto. Didn't expect him to be this efficient or this good. So, happy that he got back during the tail end of the season and that he got to show glimpses of his talent, and hoping for the best for him next season. So I'm gonna give my flowers to AP Manlapas.
Hindi man lapas. Okay. So, it's up to me to break the tie. And honestly, when I saw this award, there was no other player I could pick but
Perfect eh, no?
Luis.
Perfect. Perfect for him.
Oh, there was no tama. There's no other player that I could go with to other than Luis Villegas. I have to agree with Maui. Uh, after that
Question,
tweet, oh go.
Gab and Maui, like, who's like the last player na had MVP type of numbers na one and done from
Malonzo
the UAP?
siguro.
Like, sino
Malonzo
mga
ang una ko
recent?
naisip. Malonzo
Malonzo.
I think Malonzo played one and done.
Alonso.
Pero did he have like MVP type numbers? Was he an MVP contender din?
I
Yeah,
think he was, yeah, he was. He
Contender
had
din naman. Okay,
similar
okay.
numbers to
Malonzo.
Luis
Okay.
Villegas eh. All around eh.
Right. Anyone else that you remember?
honestly ako wala akong maalala
'Di
eh.
ba?
Lasal lang
Na
marami eh.
parang
Yung
wala.
ginagamit eh. Sila Laput, uh, may guard din sila before na point guard nila.
Yung mga naisip ko lang kasi ng mga one and done, yung mga nag-flop eh. Like si Troy Reich, he flopped.
Yeah, si Troy
Sino pa ba
Flop.
yung mga ah, yun lang eh. Nung mga isip ko yung mga galing US na hindi naman pala masyadong magaling. Actually, ngayon lang talaga yung nagka-comment yung mga one and done na talagang impactful eh.
Ngayon
So,
madami
Okay.
eh.
So
Madami na kasi.
arguably, I feel like Luis Villegas could be the best one and done in the UAAP ever.
Yes,
Can we say
probably.
that?
probably yes.
Okay, sige. So, comment down below kung meron kayong naisip na iba pang can compete against Luis Villegas as a one and done guy. Anyway, sorry Gab, just napaisip lang ako, sino pa ba yung mga magagaling na one and done? Go, Gab.
So, yun, when we discussed that tweet and the stats of Luis Villegas, I paid more attention to him because talaga when you watch UE, you pay attention to Kyle Paranada, Nico Paranada, di ba?
Tama.
And then I started watching Luis Villegas and legit, when you start watching him, you know how he accumulates so much stats. Kasi he grabs every rebound.
He's
He makes
everywhere.
Good point.
he passes from the high post, from the three-point range, lahat ng mga backgut, lahat ng mga cuts at mga shots nila Kyle Paranada, Nico Paranada, CJ Payawal, they all come from Luis Villegas. He's literally the linchpin of the offense and the backbone of the defense. Aside from Johnny Stevens. So, legit. As you say, he's not flashy. Wala talagang flashy sa game niya. But
wala talaga.
It's like a Tim Duncan, di ba? You see him make baskets, get a block, pero chill lang siya. Tapos when you look up, oh my, he has 20 and 10 already in the third quarter. Luis Villegas is just like that. So, yeah, pretty amazing. Came out of nowhere. So I agree. We're giving the award to Luis Villegas. Are there any other one and dones you want to shout out? Henry
Sorry,
Galanato, for example.
I found out
Oh,
another
go.
one and done na pwedeng contender kay Luis Villegas.
Sino?
I just remember, he's another Red Warrior. He's in the PBA right now. Si Ray Suerte. He was an MVP
Oo
candidate.
nga. Ray
That's
Suerte. Oo,
good.
tama. Galing Visayas ba or something? Tama ba?
That's good. Galing, wow.
Good pick.
Very good. Yung nag-mythical 5 siya, di ba?
Yeah, I think nag-mythical 5 siya. And he had a very
Possibly.
great season. He had multiple
Yeah, he
game
did.
winners.
He was the only guy. He was the only guy sa UE na magaling.
Gilas din.
Oh.
Gilas player din.
That's good. So anyway, you guys have other one and dones you want to shout out to. Maybe a first runner-up, second runner-up for this award. The only one I can think of is his teammate, CJ Payawal.
Payawal, yeah, galing din
And
yung
Henry
Payawal.
Galinato.
Yeah.
I think si
Yun
Galinato,
lang,
I guess.
to be honest, si Galinato, if he played for another team, he probably would challenge.
Dominate.
You would challenge.
Yeah,
Luis
agree,
Villegas
Mao.
season.
Agree.
Yeah.
We always talk about na yung bench ng UP can be a starting five for another team. Exactly, because Henry Galinato can start for another. And he can hold his own against taller players because he's so big.
As you saw in game 1 of the finals, he started and played with Kwame no first quarter and he matched up pretty well.
Very good, guys. So again, just to recap, For our rookie of the year, we had Kian Baclaan. For our Bolero of the season, we had the De La Salle Green Archers. And now for our one-hit wonder, it's Luis Villegas. Up next, let's go with Coach of the Year. We've discussed this at certain points in the season, but I want to hear your pick for Coach of the Year. Mau,
Go,
let's start with
Sam.
you.
Okay, ako ulit.
Ah,
I think this can be a unanimous pick for Coach of the Year. If you watch our other episodes of podcast, nothing but kind words for this guy. Si Coach Jeff Napa of NU really did a masterful job this season. To the point that they almost got twice to beat advantage. I think despite winning the Phil Oil Cup, I don't think me personally, I did not think NU would perform this spectacularly. They beat Ateneo, they beat UP, they beat LaSalle. Anyone they can beat, and NU is a scary team, not just because of their intact players, but because of Jeff Napa's system. You can see how without a star player they were able to overachieve. It's really because of Jeff Napa's system, both offense and defensive side. NU was the team that really forced most turnovers this season. So you can credit that to the coaching staff with their preparations on the defensive side. And yeah, I think uh, kudos to Jeff Napa. He inherited a team that was supposed to go to Coach Goldwyn, and he sort of worked with what they have, scraps, if you can say, since naubos talaga lahat ng players nila. Transferred everyone from the NU Bullpups golden age, transferred literally with Goldwyn to UP.
okay, so let's do this differently, Sam. I'll make my pick, and then you make the last pick. Because sorry to
Okay.
disappoint you, Maui. I don't think it's gonna be unanimous. Because I did give this a lot of thought,
Alam ko na to.
and
Alam ko na. Yeah, yeah,
I
yeah.
was thinking about Jeff Napa, but pare, I have to give it to Coach Tam Baldwin.
Actually,
We
I'm surprised si
take
Maui went there. Went to Napa instead of
Hindi,
Tab.
I have been thinking about this award, and I was watching Game One the other day, and I had to think. We talked about this time in our last podcast. Na I'm thankful that I'm just thankful that we're in the finals, and I look back at the job that Coach Tab has done this season, and uh, I have to give credit. I think we're taking Coach Tab his body of work for granted. We just I guess from his history, we just know that he's a good coach. He's gonna handle it. But talaga yung ginawa niya this season, sobrang amazing for me. We no so many people had little expectations for this Ateneo team. And yet here we are in the finals with the number one seed. And ako talaga sobrang amazed. We lost so many rotation players. And if you look at Ateneo's bench, it's slim pickings talaga. Compared to the previous season, sobrang slim pickings nitong in terms of talent, in terms of capability, in terms of skill ng lineup ni Coach Tab. And yet, he's able to push them to such high levels that they're able to perform the way they have so far. So ako, I'm giving it to Coach Tab Baldwin. That's my pick. Sam, you're the tiebreaker. Who are you picking?
Nakakatawa kasi my intro was supposed to be, for me, it's really a tie between Napa and Tab, no? So I think for both coaches, why I'm not even considering Coach Goldwyn, who also technically
Yeah.
finished first, diba? Technically, kasi tayo yung Ateneo and UP, and they're one win away from winning the championship. I think yung kung saan nanggagaling si Tab and Coach Jeff Napa is the same place, 'di ba? Si Coach Tab, he lost practically like almost like the starting five. Five starters, five key players, four or five key players from the previous team. Put in a bunch of like rookies or second year players. Balungay and Fortsky, Josh Lazaro, Gab Gomez. These are either rookies or second-year players.
Kahit si Kun.
Chris Kun, yeah, o nga pala, nakalimutan ko, second year lang pala si Kun, no? Ang galing-galing na niya kasi. And somehow, he made it work. He made Ateneo the number 1 team, brought Ateneo to the finals. And to be honest, as Gab mentioned, ginagawa na niya to every year. Maui has mentioned the miracle year when we beat Ben Embala. Pero nagugulat pa rin ako sa mga nagagawa ni Coach Tab. Same with Gab, I'm just happy Ateneo is in the finals. But we cannot discredit what Coach Jeff Napa did, ha? Kasi it's the same thing. Tama si Maui. Basically, Coach Goldwyn Monteverde took the NU championship team, transferred everyone to UP.
Including
Then,
players na nandun na last year.
including yung players ni Coach Jeff Napa last season. Sina Felisilda and si Torres. And sabi niya, napabala ka na dyan sa mga hindi ko kukunin or hindi ko pa kukunin. Kian Baklaan. And for some reason, napa-Final Four ni Coach Jeff Napa yung NU. And yun nga, as mentioned
They
by
were
Maui,
this close to a twice to beat advantage.
Correct. As mentioned by Maui, they beat Ateneo, they beat UP. Tama ka, Gab. They were this close to a twice to beat advantage. Kung hindi lang nag-faking a foul si Kian Baklaan, baka sila yung may twice to beat advantage. So, it's really hard to discredit that. So I'm gonna go for a tie. Pwede ba?
Ay, no. Sam, you have to pick one. We have to give the award to someone.
Pipili akong isa.
Ako na lang.
Okay, let's just...
Now, you made your pick.
Bias
I made
ako.
my pick.
Gab, wala akong marinig. Naka-mute ka.
Hello?
Ano sabi mo? Yeah, go ahead.
Hindi, I'm saying, Mao, you can change your pick. I can change my pick. You have to make a pick. Hindi na pwede.
Okay. May recency bias ako. So, I will have to go for Coach Tab. Kasi I think si Coach Jeff Napa, I really came in thinking I'm gonna vote for Coach Jeff Napa because I was expecting the two of you to vote for Coach Tab. I wanted to swerve. But because Maui was the one who swerved, edi pipiliin ko na lang yung I'll go with my heart. I'm gonna pick Coach Tab kasi si Coach Jeff Napa I think started okay and then he peaked in the middle and then the team sort of like fell flat. I think for Coach Tab, ganda talaga kasi I really did not expect anything from this team. Lalo na ng first round, talo tayo sa Lasal, talo tayo sa UP. Sabi ko, wala to. Hindi kaya. Tapos first game of the second round, talo sa NU, di ba? So I really, medyo nabuisit na ako sa Ateneo.
Sabi ko sa inyo, di ba?
Tama nga, Maui. Kaya
Coach
expect ko
Tab
Tab
with
yung
trust.
boto mo. Alam ko nga Tab kayo. But anyway, he really turned things around. We love Chris Kuhn now. Josh Lazaro is like defending one of their best defenders. Credit to Coach Tab and the coaching staff, the entire coaching staff. So I'm going to go with Coach Tab as our coach of the year.
Almost entirely brand new, by the way, yung coaching staff ng Ateneo. Because a lot of them went to San Beda and St. Benil.
Yeah.
So, halos entirely new coaching staff. Ford Araw, Jiboy, well, matanda na si Ford, but Jiboy Babylonia. And others. There are a lot of people on that bench and on that staff that have done incredible work with this team. All right, so let's go back again to something non-traditional. You probably our last non-traditional award because we're going on 40 minutes already. This one I really want to hear your thoughts because it's something we did not talk about. I call this the one to watch out for award. Who is the a player this season that doesn't get a lot of shine, but you saw flashes na, hey, this guy can be good. Maybe next year, in a couple of years. Let's go with Sam first. Sam, who is one to watch out for? I think so.
Hirap
He
ah.
doesn't have to have eye-popping stats.
Yeah.
You just saw flashes of what he can do.
Actually, first person that came to mind si AP Manlapas eh. Pero kasi napili ko na siya eh. So I wanna change I wanna choose someone else. Meron na akong someone in mind. Okay, sige. The thing is, hindi ko maalala yung pangalan niya kasi ganoon talaga siya out of
Diba?
nowhere. Out of nowhere. But what's the UE guy's name? Yung player ng UE
Ray
na
Remogat.
Remogat yun. Ray Remogat. There you go. Hindi ko maalala
Remogoat.
kanina ko pa iniisip. Si Remogoat. Last two
Okay.
games of the season leads the team in scoring. Gago. Out of nowhere. Yun lang. I can't even say
Almost
that
beat
much kasi
Ateneo also.
literally almost
Yeah,
beat
almost beat Ateneo.
Ateneo.
Beat Lasal.
Ateneo.
Almost beat
And beat
Ateneo.
Lasal. In overtime, by the way. Mr. Clutch. But ako talaga na-shock ako doon. Akala ko fluke lang yung Ateneo game pero he was so clutch against Lasal. And iniisip ko, bakit ngayon lang nila linalaro yung guy na to? Sobrang galing niya.
Diba? You had this guy on the bench the whole season.
What the hell?
Ngayon nyo lang naisipan na may laro siya.
Nagawa nyo. He outplayed all the guards.
To UA's defense, yung Paranadas and Payawal are really good too.
Oo nga. Totoo naman.
Oo naman.
Totoo naman.
Oo naman.
Pero out of nowhere talaga. Out of left field.
Sumabog.
So, I think mawala ata yung kuya Paranada, diba? Si Nico. So,
Yeah.
Si
but
Nico,
I think
mawala.
Ray Remogat, the guy to watch out for. Wala na akong ibang masabi. Sorry. Kasi literally 2 games lang yung napanood ko sa kanya.
Maui, who is your one to watch out for?
Pwede ba yung one to watch out for yung padating pa lang? De joke.
Di pwede.
Sa akin, not biased, but I'm really excited to see Chris Kuhn get his minutes extended. If you were watching Ateneo nung preseason, Dave Ildefonso was still nursing yung foot injury niya. Chris Kuhn was starting at the forward spot. And he was great. This is actually the reason why very high expectations kami kay Chris Kuhn coming to the season. But unfortunately, talagang nagpakita lang gilas lang si Chris Kuhn nung second half ng season or even the latter part of the second half. I'd like to see how Chris Kuhn develops. He would be the perfect guard for our national team also. He's 6'4", 6'5", can handle the ball. I think Ateneo purposely gave him the rocks, purposely made him a playmaker, a ball handler to develop for the coming season. And you can see the confidence building up. Chris Kuhn, if you watched Ateneo previously, nung last year, he was specifically a corner 3 specialist. But this season, it's a different Chris Kuhn. Had Chris Kuhn made that dunk over Lucero, we would probably be screaming Chris Kuhn's name right now. And it was an out of mind move. And I couldn't ask for more. That level of aggressiveness.
Yes.
Hopefully we see from Chris Kuhn next year. I think Chris Kuhn could be the cornerstone shooting guard or small forward for Ateneo, especially since both Andrade and Ildefonso will be out, graduating this season.
And anytime you pop your shoulder back in, you're a badass.
Laban lang.
Oh.
So
Yeah,
I'm
good
the
pick, Mau. Good pick.
tiebreaker. I'm the
Okay.
tiebreaker. And interesting because you guys pick the 2 players that I was debating in my head. But I maybe a bit of a homer pick or some recency bias. But yes, I've got to go with Maui on this one. Has to be Chris Kuhn. He's shown flashes. I just hope he doesn't play point guard again. I mean, I don't think point guard is the right position for him. Please, Tab. If there was one thing you did this season that I don't like seeing, it was playing Chris Kuhn as your point guard. Never again, Coach Tab.
Wala
Please,
na. Bigay mo
please.
na yung Coach of the
Just
Year kay Napa. Pag gawin niya ulit yun, kay Napa na yung Coach of the Year.
no, okay. So for this award, the one to watch out for definitely Chris Kuhn. He's shown that he can score. He's a triple threat. Can pass, can shoot, can drive. He can do
Mid-range.
everything on offense, and also he's a pretty good defender. We've talked about this before. They put him they on Jerome Lastimosa. They put him on JD Kagulangan
JD.
for a 6'4", 6'5" player to hang with guards less than 6 feet. That's amazing. That's amazing. So definitely Chris Kuhn. Although I do want to give a shout out to other players that you guys might not have thought of.
Ako
One, a
actually.
guy from. Oh, go, Sam. Go, Sam.
Actually, I was gonna
Next
say,
one.
before I thought about Remogat, Ateneo din na isip ko eh. Pero actually, hindi ko inisip si Chris Kuhn just because I feel like sobrang magaling na siya to begin with nung previous season. Ang pipiliin ko sana si Josh Lazaro. I know I hate on him.
Love-hate relationship talaga.
Love hate, love hate. I know I hate on him on offense kasi he can't finish. Pero sobrang galing na niya on defense and the intangibles. And I think, kasi when I think of one to watch out for, someone that could really skyrocket next season eh. I just feel like si Chris Kuhn kasi is already sort of like high. So parang yung ceiling niya hindi na
Makes
ganun
sense.
kalaki.
Makes sense.
For me, I think if
Yes.
Josh Lazaro can finish and can be more consistent on the free throw line, sobrang sisipa yung performance niya in the UAP. So I wanted to pick him pero I didn't want to pick an Ateneo pick. So shout out to Josh Lazaro. Go Gab, baka
Okay,
may
so
naisip ka pang iba.
ako, guys, you might not have thought of, but I have watched a lot of UAP games this season, and I do think these guys have shown some flashes and can be special if they work on the game. So one, a guy from FU, you guys might not have thought of. I forgot his first name.
Sa
I think
Honya o
it's
Sandagon?
no Torres
Ah.
Bautista.
Ah,
You guys, he only gets backup minutes, but I think he's a pretty solid point guard. He has a
guard,
pretty
'di ba?
good. Yeah, he has a pretty good mid-range game. He can drive. He can. His outside shot is not as consistent, but he has moves, pare. I really like what I saw in his little minutes, yung that he played, and I think his minutes increased as the season wore on. So we talk about FEU as a very guard-centric team with Coach Olsen there, and I think he's gonna push for more minutes next season. See, I think Torres ba yung pangalan niya? He's from Davao ata eh. Ayun. So, yeah. Torres Bautista from FEU. I love what I saw from him. And I do gotta give a shout out to LaSalle player who has impressed me, EJ Abadam.
Ako rin yun.
He was a rookie. And we talked about this a lot. When they finally decided to bench Joaquin Manuel, who was there? EJ Abadam. And I think he's a much better player than Joaquin Manuel. And honestly, I think he's even better than CJ Austria. To be honest, I think he's a more consistent shooter. He's a more composed player than CJ Austria. He doesn't force it. He picks his spots. So yeah, those two
Actually, for
players
me,
I really thought of the one
Lasal
to watch out.
marami. Raven Cortez, tsaka
Penny
Penny
Estacio.
Estacio.
Yes.
Showed flashes in specific games. Rookies pa lang sila, so could really show up in the next few seasons then.
Madami actually. Pati sa Adamson, si Yero and si Sabandal could be a breakout player next year with Jerome Lastimosa out.
I did think of them, Mau, pero isip ko, nag-breakout na sila nung second round eh, nung nawala si
kahit
Jerome.
papaano.
Medyo
Sila na yung
Breakout
gumagawa
they
eh.
had to step up. They had to step up eh, no? Yeah. Okay,
So,
next.
great discussion, guys. So, I guess for our last two or
Closing.
last closing. Okay, let's pick our MVP. Let's get juicy. Let's
O
pick our
Gab,
MVP.
ikaw
So
naman
for
una.
everyone,
Ikaw naman
so
mauna. Pero
for
explain mo yung MVP.
yeah, so for MVP purposes, we are not gonna go with the UAAP rules. So if people don't know, the UAAP bases the MVP on statistical points, and I think some points come from the record, kung how many wins, but it's mainly because of statistical points. However, for the Boleros MVP of UAP season 65, if you haven't watched our season 84 episodes, we don't go by statistical points. We go by team record, how they look on the floor, how important they are to their team, and of course the stats. Stats are very important as well. So we also saw the UAB post that Malick Diouf was leading in statistical points, and he's the presumptive MVP. He's probably going to get awarded tomorrow. However, I do think for MVP, it has to go to his teammate Carl Tamayo. Uh, I
Wow.
think he was your pick, Sam. If I'm not
Wow.
mistaken, you picked him
Yes.
as
Yeah.
MVP. Now, okay, the stats are not going to support
Wow.
it for Carl, diba?
Okay.
There are games he doesn't even play because
Yeah.
they're pretty good and he doesn't need to play. However, in the big games, when all the chips are in the center of the table, when you need a shot, it's Carl Tamayo. I think we've seen that enough this year. The first round against UP, the first round against LaSalle, that opening round game, Carl Tamayo was the guy. Even in the big game against Ateneo in the first round, that was Carl Tamayo. He dominated Kai Bulungay and dominated Ateneo. In the biggest games, they go to Carl. And we talked about this nung last episode, Sam. He's good in both ends of the floor. Someone commented, why didn't Ateneo attack Tamayo's defense? He's actually a pretty good defender. He's no scrub on defense. He can move his feet. He can hang with guards. Uh,
Kahit si Kwame,
honestly, if
mamatchapan
you
niya. If you look back
yeah,
yung dulo ng game last game.
yeah.
Although I think
Honestly,
we were
para sa akin,
expecting him to be
oh,
slower because of the injury, pero apparently kaya pa rin
hindi
niya.
naman eh. You talk about a complete player, and I really believe that Carl Tamayo is skills wise. I think he's the best the UAAP has to offer. The best
Mhm.
talaga. I
Mhm.
have no doubt about that. In terms
Agree.
of skills talaga, guard skills for a 6'8" body, crazy good. He's crazy good
Mhm.
talaga. And uh, we talk about this all the time. Kahit nung lamang yung Ateneo nung round 2 game, kabado tayo because Carl Tamayo was still playing for UP. And
Right.
lo and behold, he still got the lead down to what, 5, 6 points nung second round against Ateneo. So in terms of valuable player, I'm gonna, and of course I always go with a team that's winning. I don't want to give it to someone na as a number three, no, number four, or even out of the final four.
Villegas.
For
Okay.
for most of the season, UB was number one. Diba?
Number
So
1.
I have to give it to Carl. Carl Tamayo is my MVP for season 85.
Okay, I'll go next kasi iba yung pick ko eh. Para si Maui yung tiebreaker. If yun yung pipiliin ni Maui. I'm surprised, Gab, na you went with Carl Tamayo. I feel like nag-switch tayo ng picks because for me, my MVP is none other than Mr. MVP himself, Jerome Lastimosa, di ba? During his last game sa Final Four, yun yung sinachant ng both Ateneo and Adamson crowd, no? MVP, MVP. So, for me, MVP is like yun, most valuable person to your team. And I think si Jerome yun, di ba? We were saying earlier pa during the season, it's so easy to defend Adamson because you only have to defend Jerome. None of the other players could score or um, make shots earlier in the season. And then when Jerome got injured and supposedly out for the season na siya, we said wala nang pag-asa tong Adamson. Fortunately, nag-step up yung other players. They grew. And then when Jerome got back, they started winning again. Yun pa, sa akin, very Willis Reed yung comeback ni Jerome Lastimosa. We thought he was gone for the season. Yun yung
Yeah.
Kahit siya,
bali-balita, di ba?
kahit siya sabi niya, he's out.
Di ba,
Sinabi niya,
naka-boot pa siya. I
nakaboot
think
siya.
Maui you shared like a photo. And then he comes back and ano yun? Parang 23 points in 17 minutes against Lasal. What the? Parang sobrang GG. Sobrang he's playing on a bum toe tapos 23 points in 17 minutes. I would argue he was better after he got injured except for the game against Ateneo, yung last Final Four game. So for me, he willed this Adamson team to the Final Four. I predicted that they would not make it. I said, basing on the last few games that they had left, I said Lasal had the easier path to the Final Four. And Jerome Lastimosa proved me wrong. So because of that,
I think that tells
I'm
you more about Lasal than it does about Adamson,
Yeah,
pare.
okay.
definitely,
You know,
definitely.
now that you mentioned it, nahuli ko yung set. I caught myself there. But you know what? Let's just say na it's because of Jerome. And because of that, I'm picking Jerome Lastimosa as my MVP. Maui. Baka iba pick mo, Mau. Don't
Maui.
be pressured.
Oh, no, you
Actually,
don't be pressured to pick one of the two.
yeah. Actually, yung pick ko, I'm not biased and all, but you guys pick Coach Tab Baldwin as a Coach of the Year. I'm still going with
Ah,
Kwame. I think Kwame really deserves to be
bias,
MVP despite
Homer.
of a bum because of despite his bum knee this season. You can see naman how Ateneo plays without Kwame. Nung game one, I was really scared for Ateneo when he got his second foul nung early in the second quarter. And I think really, if you look at Ateneo overperformed this season. Dave Idelfonso was up and down to say the least this season. Fortsky was also up and down. But the one stable thing that always is stable for Ateneo ever since the entrance of Ange Kwame is their defense. Ateneo's defense is not as dominant as previous years. I think they finished the season number 2 sa defense behind UP. But without Kwame, I don't know. I don't see Ateneo making the Final Four, to be honest. Ateneo finished the season as the number 1 seed. You guys were surprised. I think Ateneo was really gonna finish first or second even before the season started. I don't know if it's biased. I don't know if it's my love for Coach Tab Baldwin, but it also has to do with my love with arguably probably the best foreign student athlete the UAP has seen, even more so than Ben Mbala. I think Ange Kwame.
Wow.
I think Ange Kwame deserved to be the MVP for this season. So yeah, I think just because of his impact in both ends of the floor.
Yeah.
Oh, now how
Yeah.
are we
Oh
gonna
Good.
decide this?
Wala.
shit!
Yun yung tatlong MVPs, basically. Pero good point, no, Mau. I think we can all agree yung performance ni Kwame this season is a lot worse than last season. That's very obvious.
Yung
And he
eye
was
test, yeah, yung
impacted by
eye
the
test.
injury. Pero, despite that, he's even more important to this Ateneo team this season than he was last season. Just
Yeah,
because
yeah.
walang depth din yung Ateneo, no? So, if you think about it that way, totoo naman, MVP din talaga si Kwame. So,
On
it's a tie.
how are
Got
you gonna? I guess it's a tie. I guess. Sige. I
Kaya,
Let's
don't like
let the
leave.
viewers decide. Si
oh,
Malick Diouf
let's
Oh,
let
to.
the
sige, fine.
viewers decide. That's how we're going to end this. Sige, that's it.
UAAP award is going to award Malick Diouf, Gab picked Carl Tamayo, Sam picked Jerome Lastimosa. I'm going with my homeboy Ange Kwame. You guys decide who do you think is the MVP.
Okay, to our 160 plus subscribers out there, um, comment down below sino sa tingin nyo ang MVP winner for season 85. You can pick someone else. You can pick any of our picks. You can pick Malick Diouf. Let us know. Just pick one. Just pick one. Comment down below. When we do the game 2 recap tomorrow or maybe the following day, we will
Tomorrow
announce
yan,
kung
tomorrow
sino
yan.
yung final vote of the
Final vote
people.
of MVP.
Okay? That's it. Let's end it there. Good night. See you
Good night,
tomorrow.
everyone.
Let's
Game
hope
2.
for another exciting game tomorrow.
Subscribe, guys.
And
Subscribe
yes, if you haven't already, don't forget to
and
like and
comment.
subscribe. Share it with your friends. Share it within your networks, within your groups. Let them watch this podcast. We'll talk about game 2 tomorrow. Win or lose, magpa-podcast tayo bukas. See you. Good night.